I can't stand the word empathy, actually. I think empathy is a made-up new age term. No one really cares when it's HR managers. No one cared when it was, just kind of paper shufflers or even engineers. But now when it's like, wait, hold on a second. You're going to remove my appendix and you're a black lesbian.
What you just heard wasn't from a cartoon villain monologue. It's a direct quote from CharlieKirk, who said he couldn't stand the word and called it a made-up new age term. And he didn't just say it once. It was the core thesis of his career. Consider the evidence. Here's what he had to say about George Floyd.
I saw a clip somewhere that you were trying to get the officer who murdered George Floyd pardoned, and I just want to know what your reasoning was about that.
Well, George Floyd didn't die because of the police officer. He died largely because of a drug overdose.
In another, he says this about seeing a black pilot.
Yeah, so last year you said something about DEI, unqualified black pilots. You see a pilot on a black pilot. Don't you think it was an irresponsible statement suggesting that maybe these pilots aren't qualified or unqualified?
No.
Each jab, each dismissal of human decency was delivered to a cheering crowd. This wasn't a bug. It was the central feature of his brand. We're not going to start with an introduction today because I wanted to show y'all a highlight reel of the man's most callous moments and put it all together. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Cash. A lot of creators are making videos on this topic, left, center, and today I felt I wanted to add my voice to the conversation. This man looked directly into the camera and told millions of people that compassion is a trap, a weakness to be exploited. So today, we're going to honor that philosophy. And I want to be clear about a few things right off the top. First, violence is never the answer. What happened in Utah was a tragedy, period. But this video ain't about the act. It's about the reaction to it. And what that reaction says about the world that he helped build. Second, this ain't going to be an obituary or a eulogy. You probably don't know, my brother passed recently and I ain't been recording. But that's someone you mourn. You mourn your loved ones. You mourn good people who add light to the world. For hate-spewing fascists, we do analysis. We're going to return the favor that he extended to so many others. No empathy, no performative grief, just a cold, hard look at the receipts. CharlieKirk didn't just lack empathy. He found a market for cruelty and became his chief executive. After the video of him calling Floyd went viral, his organization, TurningPointUSA, reportedly hauled in tens of millions of dollars. Reporting by The Guardian and ProPublica spelled it out. Outrage engagement equals 6 times the donor conversion. That's the quiet part out loud. It's a formula that turns human tragedy into fundraising gold. Every time he mocked a dead black man or ridiculed a political opponent's suffering, the cash register dinged. He called it an assembly line for converting corpses into currency and had the audacity to call it owning the libs. More than just a brand, he authored a playbook that taught an entire generation that caring is for losers. A flinch of human compassion is a forfeiture. A cheer for someone else's pain is how you're supposed to level up. He built a moral gym where the only exercise was hardening your heart and building the muscle for indifference. And in the end, that's the very same muscle that was flexed right back at him. I want you to take a look at this clip they put together on RBN.
Believe passing the Civil Rights Act was a mistake. Now, again, apparently they don't listen to the show because we do that at least once a week, right? Once a week we talk about why the Civil Rights Act was a mistake.
This motherfucker spent the last few weeks of his life trying to start a race war between black Americans and white Americans. Meanwhile, we are supposed to mourn this scumbag. Now white America is trying to rehabilitate the image of this racist scumbag and paint him as a hero. We absolutely cannot allow that to happen.
Welcome to hell, motherfucker!
In the hours after the shooting, social media was lit up, and the reaction was a perfect reflection of his own syllabus. The top reply on X with over 400,000 likes read, "Play stupid games, win stupid prizes." How many times have we heard that phrase in life? The second most popular response, thoughts and prayers, "Sorry, I'm fresh out today." And these weren't just random trolls. These were the graduates of Kirk 101, demonstrating that they mastered the curriculum. Lesson number 1, show no grace to your enemies. Number 2, the enemy is anybody who disagrees with you. And finally, the most important one, when your turn comes, expect the very same silence you offered up to everybody else. Hey, it's Cash again. I just wanted to take a quick pause from the video and say if you appreciate this analysis that's treating callousness like a math problem, hit the subscribe button. The algorithm learns there's an audience for this type of accountability, and you'll get notified the next time a public figure gets graded on the brutal curve that they wrote themselves. Now let's get back to class. Let's be clear. Violence is not the answer and never will be. The act itself was a horrible tragedy, but we're not going to ignore the staggering irony here. Police arrested a 22-year-old suspect, Tyler Robinson, who appears to be a right-winger himself.
The suspected shooter in the assassination of political activist CharlieKirk is set to make his first court appearance today. Authorities believe 22-year-old Tyler Robinson fatally shot Kirk during an event at Utah Valley University last week. Now, investigators say Robinson has not been cooperating with them, but online chat company Discord now says Robinson appeared to take responsibility for the killing online.
The shooter used a legally purchased firearm just hours before the incident. Kirk posted a video slamming red flag laws, a position consistent with his past statements calling gun control a way of making people feel safe by taking away freedoms from others. For years, he argued the cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year was worth it to protect that Second Amendment.
I think it's worth it. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights.
He finally met one angry young man who took his syllabus to its most literal conclusion. The coroner report left the unofficial cause of death as gunshot wounds. Ain't no metaphors here left, just bullets. Back in 2020, Kirk famously drew a line in the sand and said, "I don't wish harm on anyone. I just refuse to mourn people who hate this country." These comments are a convenient framework that allow him to choose who is worthy of grief. I guess that makes his mind at ease seeing kids being blown up in Gaza.
Kids as human shields on top of their military bases. It's called Judea and Samaria. It's not called Palestine.
You don't believe that Palestine have the right to exist?
No, everyone has a right to exist. Show me where it is. It's a non-existent place. I don't think the place exists.
What?
Because it doesn't. It's called Judea and Samaria. It's not called Palestine. There is no starvation in Gaza.
The war started because 1,300 Jews were killed and 200 were taken hostage. And when you declare war on Israel, expect a firestorm in reaction. Hamas started the war. And I don't see people that were really upset about the 2 million Germans that were killed in World War II, civilians. A tragic truth of war is that civilians die. I don't like it, and you don't like it. And they brought it upon themselves.
And so civilians are going to die, and that is a tragedy. And Hamas brought this upon themselves.
After his death, that exact sentiment trended on Twitter with his name swapped in. All anyone had to do was replace the word country with basic human dignity, and the logic was identical. That dismissive shrug that he copyrighted and monetized for years finally entered the public domain, free for everybody to use. This ain't about one man. Kirk wasn't the origin of these kind of sentiments, but he was a powerful accelerant. He packaged contempt into a slick, marketable product for a new generation. Today's college freshmen have been taught that showing basic concern for others is woke. We watching an entire culture earn his cruelty badge, not on the battlefield, but through correspondence he designed. There's a book I once read that said, "You get the world you fight for." It was right. That's going to leave the rest of us with a fundamental choice. Either we fight to resurrect public language where suffering matters and compassion is a strength, or we resign ourselves to playing this vicious game, endlessly battling cruelty back and forth. Calling for empathy isn't sentimental. It's a matter of survival. Democracies that forget how to care for their own citizens eventually turn on themselves. The rot starts from within. CharlieKirk wanted a world without pity. He got his wish. He lived in that world. He profited from it, and he died in it. The very crowd he insulted honored his final request by showing him none. Mourning is for the people we love, like my bro. Analysis is the lessons we gotta learn. If that final cold reality makes you feel uncomfortable, then congratulations, your moral thermostat still works. Hold on to that feeling, use it, because the quickest way to guarantee an encore of this tragedy is to forget the lesson he inadvertently taught us. No prayers, no performative grief, just remember how we arrived here. Class dismissed, y'all.
You always told me it would work if I tried, and true happiness will last until you die. Remember?